When there is strong leadership, it inspires people to take initiative. It inspires people to be productive. It inspires people to lead in their own capacity where they are.
You cannot be a leader if you don't know how to deal with people. Because you are a leader of people.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this podcast. Thank you for joining the 7X Growth Podcast. This is the podcast that helps you to grow your business to incredible heights and success that you yourself could not even imagine. My name is Gerold Joubert. I'll be your host for today. And with me is my co-host, Christian Nyembue. Welcome, Christian, to the podcast today.
Welcome, Pastor Gerold. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Yeah. Couldn't do it without you, you know. Otherwise, it's not a podcast. All right. So today we're going to be talking about leadership. Last week or the last podcast in episode number 18?
Yeah.
We spoke about the 7 pillars of a successful business. 7 pillars that businesses are built on, and these were the 7 things we said that either make or break your business. And so, as we promised, we're going to start deep diving into those 7 points one by one. First, it's going to be me and Christian, and we're going to be discussing it. And then next year, starting with our the episodes for January, we're going to start inviting some friends, some experts, some amazing people on the podcast to be guests and to help us discuss the 7 pillars of business growth. For today, we're going to be talking about leadership because leadership is, as we said last week, the number one reason why companies either succeed or fail.
That's true.
I was wondering about this and why is it that leadership is the reason why companies stand or fail? And I think we spoke a little bit about it last week as well, but maybe our listeners or those watching the podcast, they have this question, why leadership? Why is leadership so important? Why, what about everything else? Finances, capital, cash flow, strategy, operations, human resources, all these other things that we know is very important. Why not them? Why is leadership the number one thing? Why?
Should I answer?
Tell us, yes.
Okay, I would like to start with the definition of leadership itself. Leadership is the ability to guide, inspire, and influence other people to achieve a common goal or vision. So meaning that as a business, we are an organization that have a goal to achieve. So business needs someone who will lead now people in that organization to achieve. And if the head is not good, meaning that everything that's going to happen it's not going to be good. And then all the decision that will be taken in that moment inside that entity or that organization is going to lead the organization, or which is the business to fail and not to have a success. That I can say.
Yeah, John Maxwell says that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. And so when a person or when there is no influence in the company, in the ability of the company to influence its employees, to influence its clients, then you won't sell, you won't be productive, you won't move forward. Nothing is going to happen if there is no leadership. And so we can understand that leadership is really, really important, and it is foundational when it comes to understanding and when it comes to building business. There's another quote by John Maxwell that I want to to quote here, he says that great leaders are the ones who make everyone else feel like a leader too. And when we think about strategy around marketing and around even the employees in the company, when there is strong leadership, it inspires people to take initiative. It inspires people to be productive. It inspires people to lead in their own capacity where they are, and also to make the client feel like they are leading the decisions within the, in the sales process as well. So that becomes very important for us to understand that leadership helps us to build strong teams. Leadership helps us to connect with people, because leadership also has a lot to do with communication. And leadership has a lot to do with strategy. It has a lot to do with communication. It has a lot to do with relationships. There's another quote that I came across. John Kennedy said, "The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, to be kind but not weak, to be bold but not a bully, to be thoughtful but not lazy, to be humble but not timid, to be proud but not arrogant, to have humor but without folly." We can call it the leadership paradox, right?
That's great.
It's like a leader has this incredible responsibility to juggle. It's almost like you're walking a very fine edge between what is necessary and what is required of a leader and what is unacceptable. And sometimes, let's take, for example, like you said, a leader needs to be proud but not arrogant. That a leader needs to be confident in what they are doing. They need to be knowledgeable. They need to stand fast. They need to be proud of their work and proud of their teams and proud of their company and proud of their clients and proud of the brand, but not arrogant. And so there's a fine line that needs to be played. And sometimes I think, especially working with a lot of businesses, I've seen how easy people go from the good side of the coin to the bad side of the coin.
That goes with human nature. We always have that tendency to mess up with whatever that comes with authority and power. I would like to see the other side of leadership by understanding the organization, because here we talk about businesses, how leadership can influence the success of a business. So just to see the business as an entity, an organization, and inside that organization, there's people inside there. One thing that I've noticed with leaders is, especially when it comes to businesses, they focus mostly on customers than people inside their own organization, where it must be the opposite side of it, because they will know that your organization or your business is strong based on how you treat people inside your organization, how people feel working with you. Are they happy being there? Because with leadership, we can quote so many quotes that taking those quotes and put them now in reality in the organization doesn't even make sense. And then if you have a sincere conversation with people inside that organization, you will realize that this is just, people, they're just showing that they're doing well, but really they're not doing well. And then that comes as well with these things of, yes, we know that business, they're after profit, but businesses have those tendencies to even forget about people who are working, who have to deliver the service and the things. And then I think that way the focus has to be the people inside the organization. And in that way, the problem starts with the business, because we have, for example, we have services or we have product that we have to sell. You are one as a leader, or there's leaders inside that organization. Most of the time, they just oversees what's happening in the organization. But people who are in contact with customers, they're the one who are going to give or to drive a good image of the organization or a bad one. So that's where leaders, I think, leadership in organization or in the business have to start with people inside. And I think more we go, more we will talk about that. Yeah.
That's a good point, because that's actually one of the things that I experienced in the corporate world is sometimes the disconnect from leaders and what's going on the ground, you know, the customers and how things actually work. Because sometimes a leader can have a vision or an idea or a strategy or a process in the company, but they don't work with it every day, so they don't see the results or whether it's really working well. And sometimes also the communication doesn't really feed up very well. Like you can report things, but it doesn't go back up to the leadership. It ends somewhere and it doesn't reach the right people. But that causes a lot of frustration in the organization, because things are implemented and they don't work, but you are enforced to do them. You know, there's a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of, do this and do that. But at the end of the day, the client is the one that suffers, because, like you said, if I'm not happy or if things are not working, then my service to the client is going to be affected. I'm not going to deliver the best service that I can.
If you just go back through your experience with some companies, you have realized that some companies, even they're just the people that are rude.
Very rude.
Like it just takes.
It makes you feel like a criminal. How dare you call me?
Even if you go to their branches, like even you go to shops, like it just takes a little bit push for them to see all the emotion coming. That shows already the atmosphere inside that organization, and that only can affect people, customers who are coming to who want your service. And I think as a leader, if there's one skill that I would like to develop as a leader, is empathy. Because empathy is saying it's not about it's people first. And then the rest can come. For example, a leader who have that empathy of people, who love people, who have that heart of people, when there's a problem in the organization, when there's lack of performance, or people are not performing, when you are addressing people, you address them with a different perspective of things. We can come, okay, why are you like... Let's say I will say maybe, okay, this time in this 3 months you didn't perform. Your sales are low. This is happening. What's happening? You address the problem, and then now you shift from the problem of non-performing to a person. What is the problem? How can we help you? What's happening? You know, there's leaders, we are up there, and then there's so many things that we don't get to in the organization. People have problems in their houses. Maybe they've lose someone valuable. There's a kid who's sick, or there's problem with things, and then that can affect already the way things are happening and the way people perform. But if you approach that person in the way of you matter the most than the whatever your performance, it's you first. We care about you, and then that care is not the care you telling people, no, I care about you. You don't care about me. If you care about me, I will feel that you care about me. I will know that you care about me. You know? And then I think that's where the problem starts. And then people become negligent, and that even if you are not happy, people will start, if they get another opportunity, they will go. And then you start to lose people who could push the company because they are not happy, and they just working until the next opportunity.
Talent retention, is a big job for leadership, and speaks to the culture as well in the company. Because if your company culture is not good, then it creates a toxic environment, and nobody likes to work in a toxic environment. So it's important. I want to take it like from where you are in talking about leading your team or leading the organization. I want to take it one step back, and I want to say that I think leadership starts, or I know leadership starts even before that with self-leadership. And a lot of the times it is that people struggle to lead others because they don't know how to lead themselves.
Yeah.
And because you have so many issues that you are not managing and so many unled areas in your own life, then it overflows into other people's lives. Instead of showing empathy, like you were saying, you show frustration because you're not leading your own emotions. We know that the greatest skill that we can learn as human beings is to learn how to manage our own emotions, how to conquer your own soul. That is the highest form of self-development that you can attain, is to be able to master yourself, to be able to take decisions based upon thinking and not emotions, to be able to understand your emotions, to have a good IQ and a good EQ, to work through problems and not address people through your problems, but address your own problems and then work through them so that you can relate to people properly. So, like, I was thinking about the different spheres of leadership. There is self-leadership in the middle, then it is leading, the team, then it is leading the organization, and then only do we get to the world, where we lead, the clients, the marketplace, the industry, where you are now the industry leaders, as they so to speak. Some companies are industry leaders, but they can't lead their own people, and it's important that leadership is developed from the inside out, that there is leadership development taking place in the company, that the company leaders, if you are a company owner or an entrepreneur or a self-employed person, then you need to invest in your leadership development, because your ability to lead yourself will directly influence your ability to lead your team, your organization, and then ultimately the clients.
I love the point the point that you bring up, the self-leadership.
Mm-hmm.
The way I understand the self-leadership is, it's not really just you knowing how your emotion and being able to manage them, which you will fail most of the time, but you understanding your own struggle as a person. Because for you to stand in the point of have empathy or compassion about someone else, you can stand only if you can relate to that person, if you can understand the struggle of that person, if you can put yourself in that person things, which is very difficult for most leaders, especially when they start to get to success. They separate themselves with the mass, they separate themselves with the reality. They just try to see everything in the money things. Everything is now $100 things. It's all about money. It's all they see is just money, because the reality and the money, it's like a big gap. So for you to be a good self leader, you have first to see your own struggle, and now project it in the people that you are leading, and from that you understand, okay, these people are going like this, and from that you will now see yourself, okay, how will I want someone to treat me if I was in the position that these people are? How people are going to, I would like someone to talk to me if I was those people. And then that will give you already a clear way of you communicating to those people. You know, there's a lot of things that it's outside books and things, well known, self-communication or effective communication. You can communicate clearly only if you can understand the other person. And that person will listen to you or will consider whatever that you are bringing. Because listen, you are not a leader because of you. You are a leader because of those people. If there's no one there, you are not a leader. You are a leader because you have a team. You have people who are looking up to you. So you inspire those people based on where they are, how they can relate to you. And that's become difficult when we remove the salary and whatever. But when it comes to, even for salary, people can just leave there. They then go to where they will respect them, where they will be, where they will treat them well.
I think a lot of people, especially after COVID, we saw, what they call the great resignation and silent quitting and all these terms where people just became fed up and they realized it's not worth it. It's not worth it to stay in an environment where, it's toxic, where you are being broken down as a person, your character is being destroyed, your mental health is being destroyed. And many people just resigned their jobs. We saw thousands of people just resigning because they realized this is not money. At the end of the day, is not worth having your life destroyed for, and there's always other opportunities out there. And sometimes you don't see those opportunities because you are so oppressed by the environment you are in. A little bit later, I want to give like 10 things that define a growth environment, but we'll get to that a little bit later. When you were talking about just leaders that cannot relate to other people and the way they speak to them. It reminded me, and I'm sure I've told you the story, and I mentioned it in another speech that I gave for a competition some years ago. But I used to work for this company. It was my shortest term of employment. It was 4 days. I worked there for 4 days. Wow. Can you imagine? And this place, man, it was this company that sold a very expensive product, and it was basically telesales. But the product cost like 15,000 rand. This was many years ago, maybe 16 years ago, and you had to call people and now get to sell this product that's so expensive. And the criteria was also very, very strict on who they sold to and what they were selling. These trading platform. It was a trading platform. But this one was one that you installed on the computer and all kinds of things. You buy the platform. It was a different business model. But the owners of this company, they were like, I would say close to psychopaths. The way they treated the people, it was crazy. I mean, every day somebody was crying. And I mean, like even adult men crying because the owner was shouting at them. She would curse them, cuss at them, call them names, belittle them, just treat people like trash. I was like, I was so shocked. I was like, after 4 days, I was like, I'm not going back there. Like I would rather be jobless than to work in this environment because you would die. Literally, I think you will kill yourself after some time. The person that was there the longest was like 1 year. And that person was like the longest. I think they held the record for there it was like, how long can you last? And the one person came into the office. It was a guy. He was in his 20s, and she just started, the owner, she just started shouting at him in front of everybody. She's like, yeah, I don't want to ever hear about your personal problems again. Don't send me messages about you and your wife's problems. I don't want to know, stop being a baby. What, like, just going off on the guy, like exposing everything, to him and his wife. They were having issues and they had an emergency, and she just like blabbed out everything. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, man. And you could see that people, they tried to push through, they tried to be motivated. There was like motivation by fear almost. And they tried to be positive, but it was impossible. And you saw people quitting like this. If you were there 1 month, you got you could choose to have like a plant or a hamster or something on your desk as a reward. They had to reward you for every month you lasted.
So that themselves,
So
they
that
reward you.
you can feel reward, but not money. No, they'll give you like a pet or something, But even the money, it wasn't, looking back now, I was like, oh, man, it wasn't even that, it wasn't like good pay at all.
That's the problem with a business is it's just going after profit, after selling.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a goal, there's things, and leaders don't understand that just treating your people well can drive that sell up. And then the other thing is, once you put more pressure on your people, you know what people start to do? There's one company that I know, it's a very big company in South Africa, and I know some people are working there. They push people for sales. Those are people who didn't go to school to study sales or whatever. The contract,
And they don't train them.
yes, the contract is something else, and then the work that they're telling them to do is something else.
Mm-hmm.
But they're putting pressure on those people so that those people, they can sell.
Mm.
And then you know what's happened now? Those people, they start to come with plan and how they can fake sell.
Yeah.
They create things, they call their friends, their things just to close packets.
Mm-hmm.
Is those fake? So they will just tell people, okay, you just come, sign, you can,
Yeah,
you
and
can
then-
cancel after
Yeah.
a month and things. Is that profit the organization?
No, it costs them more.
So you see now the problem of putting pressure on people, and then the problem there is the shareholders that up there, they have money that they want to get every month, and then they put it on pressure on managers, and then managers who are not trained as well to be leaders, who are just managers, because there's a lot of leaders who are just managers. They know how to tell people what to do, what to manage, but they're not leaders. You cannot be a leader if you don't know how to deal with people, because you are a leader of people who are in charge of the job. So you lead those people first. For example, managers, you lead them, you tell them, you give them the vision. You tell them how to treat people by yourself being an example. Because most of the time, managers, they treat people only the same way that leaders up there, they treat them. If you put pressure on them, they up there, they will put pressure on other people down there. And then it should just go until the client the customer will feel it. Because it's something that comes up and then come down, and that's the outcome. So let's say you start to get fake sales. They sign today, after 1 month, they cancel. But for me, who's doing that, I've closed my bucket for last month. You don't have to come back to me. I didn't tell the customer to cancel. So is going to drive a success in the organization? Is going to push the business to go up? No. So, but it looks like we don't understand that. we don't understand that and we push. I don't know what's going on. And then it's just like most companies, once they start to make more money, it's like they remove them, that human being.
Yeah.
If like that soul is no longer there.
Yeah, the culture changes completely. It becomes an environment of micromanagement. You know, it's just it really unintentionally. I think most of the time it becomes a toxic environment because you're just chasing numbers, but those numbers are empty numbers, and we know that most people just play the game. You know, they just play the system so that they can get the numbers, but those numbers do not reflect true productivity. In fact, you're spending more time trying to track your numbers than you're actually spending on investing value in clients or selling products. So I've seen that. I've had that experience firsthand. It's really terrible when a company starts to go after numbers and it's all about the numbers, and you know that your performance was far greater when you were able to focus on relationships and do your job and be trusted. But it's almost like COVID also, because of the work from home type of thing, you know, there were one or two rotten apples and they didn't do their jobs. And so companies just brushed everybody under the same brush and decided, no, you guys now, all of you, everybody, you are untrustworthy. So we're going to start micromanaging you.
That
which
doesn't
is not
work.
it's not an environment of growth. You know, you can't grow like that. In fact, it will drive you to look elsewhere. It will drive you to want to leave. So let me quickly mention a couple of things that do make for a good growth environment, and these are things that leaders can work on to develop in the environment in the company to help themselves and also their employees and even the clients in an extent to grow. Number one, a growth environment is a place where others are ahead of you. So there's always people that are better than you so that you can learn and you can grow, and you surround yourselves with people that are performing. There was a study done where they said that high performance, when you surround a person with high performers, that person will automatically become a high performer. But if you put a high performer with low performers or lazy people, that high performer will be demotivated and they will become a lazy person. And so you want to have an environment where people are challenging one another. That's one of the other points of a growth environment. It's an environment where you are constantly challenged to grow. You're not just in your comfort zone, you're challenged to grow. The focus is forward. That's the third one. There's an atmosphere of affirming, you know, like positive affirmation in affirming the work you've done, affirming the objectives you've reached. Like there's recognition for what you are doing. There is an environment that helps people to get out of their comfort zone, to do things that they're not comfortable with so that they can learn to grow in those things. So not just getting people to do the same thing over and over and over again, you know, because that becomes too repetitive. But helping them, thinking about as a leader, how can I give this person or this team something that they haven't done before? How can I give them something fresh, a new challenge? How can I put them out of their comfort zone so that they are challenged to grow? Because if you just do the same thing over and over again, then you don't grow anymore.
That will depend as well in the all the things that you just mentioned is very good, but the way you approach it is you have to be very careful with that, so that for people to respond to that, because you know leadership these days it's becoming very difficult. Why? Because you are dealing with human beings who are depressed. You are dealing with human beings who have their own ways of doing things. Yes, they are working for your organization, but they have the dream as well. They have the way that they want to do things. Already, there's no company that hire people who are not multi-skills or things. They are doing already a lot. So the approach here, if I have someone who's working with me and I want that person to do more than what is doing, I will approach that person with a human being heart and to see where that person is and then what the organization is putting the environment or the what is what already is doing, profiting him, helping him grow. Because, most of the time, it's we as leaders, we put things in people's table just to push our own agendas. Not really for the people. It's just for the organization to get to the goal where they want to go. Yes, the person is working there for the things, but it was Saturday, we were in another podcast things production. There's another lady who said that she was a programmer, but a leader told her about becoming a seller in the same IT field, something that she was not used to. But the way she approached her, she didn't know that, okay, you can be a seller in the IT things. Or going to school, it was just you sitting with your computer, that's all. But she approached her and then told her, okay, there's more than what we're doing here. Can you do this? No, I don't know about this. Because, once you put something in something that I'm used to in my table that I don't know about it, I will have a defensive way of responding to that. So what she did is, okay, she now sent her to go to the environment of that things, send her to through trainings. From the trainings, that's when now she have realized, okay, I didn't know about this one. There's more than this one. And in that way, even a career changed. Right now, she's an entrepreneur who she has a company which is in technology things. But everything changed from that leader. So it's good to put everything that can make environment, but not based on you. That's why I'm bringing the empathy things. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. Because what I've realized with most leaders and most companies is they are only after their goal, what they want to achieve, and that's what matters. The day you achieve it, they're happy with you. The day you don't achieve it, they put you things aside, and today now it's even they can cut you. Okay, no, your job is finished, and then just go like that. And then without understanding that, just you retrenching people can affect the environment, because other people will become already scared. Okay, the same way he's doing to that one, I'll be the next. And I've seen it in some organization as well. Like, okay, you see the way the leader is treating another person, and then instead I sit, okay, oh, I'm the next person here. And then you start to look for the way to go out of that place. Or now you sit back, you can't express yourself, because that's the other problem. It's people are not able. A good environment is not about what we define in the wall. A good environment is about how people feel being in that environment. Do you care about people? You caring about people is not about you saying you care about people, but people, they will feel and they will see it that you care about it. I saw another. I won't be long about this. I saw it's what is his name? Simon. Simon is a very big leader, very speaker who speaks more about
Simon.
Yeah. He gave an example of him going to another hotel. Just the way he went inside, just by going inside, the way people smiled to him, like talk to him, just attracted his like curiosity. So later he went to a person, their coffee shop, and went to talk to the person from the coffee shop. He was like, he asked the person, oh, how is it going? No, I'm good, I'm very well. Oh, so are you happy with your job? He said, yeah. I'm happy with my job. Oh, okay. So meaning that everything is okay. Yeah, everything is okay. Here, like, no, I can be, me. It's not like you put everything around me. If you move like this, the manager call you. If you do like this, you say like, is him while he's working and he is expressing himself. So the same person told him that he's working for another hotel as well. But in that hotel, it's like every movement you're making, they're after you. And then there, it's just going there because they want a paycheck. And then he's not even there. So he explained as well in the way the leaders are treating the people in the two organizations. And then that can influence, because right now we're talking about the influence of a leader in or driving or of leadership in driving a business to the growth, which is a very big pillar. So just the way you treat the people, the environment, not your environment in your mind, not like what people think, and then that goes as well with you having a proper conversation with people, like a serious one, an open one with people. How are you feeling? Is the organization giving you everything that you need to do your work well? Mm-hmm. And then if those people, they give you a feedback, you being able to consider that feedback, not to stand now in a position now, okay, this one I can see is the stubborn one. We start to look for a way to take him back. You will bring another, you will remove that one, you will bring another one, it will be the same problem. That's why your example you gave for that company, people couldn't stay even for a month. Why? Because, okay, this one leave, we'll bring another one. And then what's the business there?
Mm. All right. So a couple of things concerning leadership that influences companies directly. So there's 6 things that happens when, like the reasons why companies fail. So the first one is lack of vision and strategy. We spoke about this, and actually the next podcast episode 20, is about strategy. So leadership not only affects the way we treat people, but it also affects the way we have vision and the strategy around that vision. And that happens before you even touch people.
Yeah.
Poor decision making, number 2, inability to make decisions. Some leaders take forever to make decisions, So, or they make emotional decisions based upon themselves, like you were saying. Then there is poor communication and delegation. So not delegating tasks, responsibilities, not communicating well. That can lead a company to shut down. Lack of trust and respect. That can lead to companies being shut down. If you don't trust your people, they will feel it, they will sense it, they will know it, and they will not feel trusted, and they will behave that way as well. There was another interesting study done around trust, showing that when somebody when a person is not trusted, they are not motivated to take ownership of their job. Because they feel like, you don't trust me, so I'm not going to try something different or new. I'm just going to stay within the lanes. And in fact, sometimes it will even cause people to do untrustworthy things because you don't trust me anyway, so let me behave in that way. So,
or just okay, why don't you trust me? It's maybe because I'm not doing my job well, and that can bring as well that just the fear of making mistake. And then once people start to be fearful of making mistake because they know that you'll be after them, innovation is gone.
And then the next thing comes through the door, which is micromanagement. Because if you don't trust people or respect them as a person, you'll start to micromanage them. And this is probably one of the greatest growth stiflers in a company is micromanagement. The moment you start to micromanage people, they lose all the individuality that they have, all the motivation, all the joy. It becomes mechanical. And once a job becomes mechanical, there's no more joy.
There's no joy there.
And you can see this even in different teams, the way. And the interesting thing is that statistically, micromanaged teams perform better on paper. That's the interesting thing. Like a team that is micromanaged, their numbers will look better because they are driving those numbers at all cost. But like we said earlier, you don't know how they got to those numbers, right? They're just showing the numbers. But it is not sustainable. So the numbers will be there, but that numbers will not be sustainable because the team turnover will start to increase. And once your turnover increases, your productivity will start to fall as well. So there's an interesting study on that, on micromanagement. But then the last one is a leader, a person that is not a good leader in a company, leading a company, will fail to adapt to change. When a person either they don't know how to manage change in the company and how to bring in change in the company, change management is a very big industry, or they are just so resistant to change that they don't allow any change in the company. Somebody comes with a new idea. No, this is the way we do it here, and we've done it like this for 100 years, and we're not going to change. And that's why the company shuts down. There are so many examples of companies like that. So it is important that for a leader has strong vision and strategy, has strong decision-making skills, strong and good communication, and knows how to delegate, has ability to trust and respect his people, does not micromanage them, manages them and gives them goals and boundaries, but allows them to explore and to try new things, and even allows them to fail sometimes.
The end of the day, you as a leader, we are not saying that you have to let people to do whatever they want. But the way you approach that, and then the way you inspire them. I always say, a leader, you have to get in a place where people are able to die for you. Look at politicians.
Or don't look at them.
No,
I know the example you mean. Yes,
see,
I know. But
so the thing
don't
here
look at them fully.
don't look at them like example.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's some that you can look at them like example because there's always good people.
Yeah.
But in the way you approach people, in the way you inspire people, the way people they can see the change of themselves on you. And then that's where now things become easy. You see people start to make things easier for you because you get there. And also that is not really something that because we can have a hammer on leaders which are just people as well who are learning, but it's something just to bring that culture, that environment where people grow. It's something that's it's a process, it's a journey, because people are coming. You don't know how those people are. They have this 1, 2, 3 skill they have, but just to understand them, it's something that you must have that willingness to go through to understand where they are. That's why conversation with people. If you as a leader, you cannot have it directly, but you have to introduce it because you are a leader of people who are in charge of people who are in charge of customers. You are a leader of people who are in charge of people who are in charge of customers, meaning that managers, the way you deal with your managers, the vision you communicate to them, they will take it back down to the people who are dealing with customers, so that they can have a good experience, they can go and then come back, and those customers it can become like a cult, it can become like a tribe to them.
tribe, yeah.
Yeah, them to associate to the company. So it's a process that you go have a conversation. I always see Elon Musk or him always going to those factories. He has money. He could even stay somewhere there, just shout on people, say people, try things. But he goes there. I don't know how we treat people there, but it looks like it's not bad there. But just people sitting there with them, going to learning, asking them questions, trying to understand how they work, what they do, that can drive already the business growth. Because people, they will see, oh, this people is not a boss who's in the yacht there in the corner there smoking cigar, waiting for numbers at the end of the month, but this person is here with us. That's also, it's something that can think, but it's something that it's a journey. You learn in that process and grow, and it just be open-minded as a leader to understand and to learn, because you are just like the other person, people who in the organization learn and adjust to change and things as you said.
I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface here on leadership, so we'll definitely talk about it a bit more.
Yeah, we can go. I think it's very important, and that's where, because all the other pillars will depend in the leadership. So we can go as much as possible by bringing new, fresh, minded mind as well from people that we can invite. They can come and give them, tell us about their experience, and we can go as much as we can go until we really get to the point, so that the other pillars, when we have a good leaders, the other pillars is going to be very easy to implement and to go, because the goal here is business growth.
Yes.
Without destroying other people.
Yeah, don't destroy people. It's not healthy for your business. So there's a lot more that we can talk about when it comes to leadership, and we surely will. We're going to revisit this topic definitely, but the next episode we're going to talk about strategy, which is one of the responsibilities of leaders is to build and develop and sell strategy. So please be sure to join us for the next episode. Please remember also to subscribe to our channels on YouTube. We are also on all the podcast channels, Spotify, Apple Music, you name them, we are there. And remember to also like and share this podcast with other people. And also give us your insight, comment, give us what do you think is a leader and why is leadership important for business, or what was your experience? Maybe you had a really bad leadership experience, or maybe you had a great leadership experience, and we would love to hear about that. So please do let us know and tell us about that, so that we can all learn from that and also share in our experiences. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. Until the next one, I'm Gerold Joubert, your host here with Christian Nyembue, our co-host for today, and until next time, bye.